Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be looking at sections, right? Now, in the previous video, we looked at first angle projection. Perhaps you could visit that video to see the principles of first angle projection. How do you draw a 3D object in 2D views, okay? So the topic sections is represented by the first angle projection drawing and also the third angle projection drawing, but we are looking at the first angle projection drawing in today's video. Good. Now, sections, an example of a section drawing is shown on the left, the drawing on the left. What it is showing the front elevation, that is section. And because it is section, it now has a name, section XX. While the drawing on the right of the screen is a regular end elevation, right? So that drawing was not sectioned in today's video, right? So we have the section drawing on the left and a regular drawing end elevation on the right, okay? All right, so here on the screen we have the block represented in isometric projection. Now here we have the section here with this pattern there. Can you guess which direction, which of the arrows we would have to be looking in to see that section drawing? Gonna give you 3 seconds and then you can come back. All right, the arrow labeled A would be the view which would see this section, this hatch pattern part of the drawing, right? So the front elevation seen in A would be section. Looking from B, you would see the regular plan. Looking from C, you would see the regular end. And looking from D, you'll see the regular end elevation, okay? If we label the 4 views that we could see on the isometric drawing, the the view seen from the arrow labeled A would no longer be the front elevation, but it will now be called a section front elevation. And B would remain the same name, would be the plan at B. For C would be the end elevation, and D would be the end elevation. Okay? If you want, I want you to get a sheet of paper and pencil and sketch what the two-dimensional drawing would look like for the sectional front elevation, okay? And then come back after 3 seconds if you wish to do so. Looking in the direction of arrow A, this is what the sectional front elevation would look like on a two-dimension drawing that you would draw in first angle projection, okay? All right, here on the screen we have the isometric projection of the given block, okay? Now, here I have the section here. Can you see my hand is right? It's cut, right? Can you guess which direction we would have to be looking to see that cut section? You can pause the video for about 3 seconds and come back. All right. To see this section, there are 2 possibilities. You could see from C being section or from D being section, right? So from A, you'll see the regular front elevation. From B, you'll see the regular the regular plan. From C, there's a possibility that you could see the section in the end elevation. And in D, you would see there is a possibility that you can see the end elevation looking from the direction of the arrow labeled D. But in today's video, D will be the section, right? D will be representing the section. So the sectional end elevation looking from D is what is represented in today's video. But bear in mind that C could also represent the section too. But for today's illustration, I'm taking the section from D. So therefore, Looking from A, we have the regular front elevation. Looking from B, we have the regular plan. Looking from C, we have the regular end elevation. And looking from D, for today's video, is the end elevation. Looking from D will be sectioned, okay? Here I've labeled the different views that you would see. Looking from A, you would see the front elevation. Looking from B, you would see the plan. Looking from C, you would see the regular end elevation. But remember, there's a possibility that uh, you could section the end elevation and look from C, you would see the same cut section there, right? But for today's video, I'm sectioning from the arrow, looking in the direction that you would see from D, right? So C and D would give you the same section, but I want to have a regular end elevation that's not sectioned and an end elevation that is sectioned, okay? And in today's video, I'm sectioning it. Sectioning the block, the 3D block looking from D, okay? So that is why the arrow that is labeled D, I now call it the section end elevation. All right. So the end elevation looking in the direction of D is no longer end elevation again. Right? It's a section end elevation. Okay. I want you to take a sheet of paper and a pencil and sketch what the section end elevation would look like on a two-dimensional drawing. So you're going to draw it flat. What you're looking at is a three-dimensional drawing of the section. I want you to draw it flat in a two-dimension plane, meaning on the y-axis and the x-axis, okay? So the drawing should meet at 90 degrees. So sketch it. Take about 3 seconds if you wish to do so, and you can compare with the answer which I'm going to show you in 3 seconds, okay? If you wish to do so. This is what the section end elevation looking from the arrow labeled D, this is what it would look like. So you can compare your answer if it looks like mine. Good job if it looks like mine. Good job. On the screen, this is a section of the sectional end elevation. But when we're doing sections, we don't normally write section end elevation or sectional end elevation. We call it section YY if the cutting plane line is labeled YY. Okay? And a little while I'll show you where I got the YY from. Okay? This is what the final drawing for the first angle projection of the object would look like. So we would have the front elevation, the plan, the end elevation, and end elevation. We wouldn't have those alphabets, the letters under the, the labels, front elevation and plan, and end elevation, as was shown before. As I said, I labeled them to help you to move from the 3D drawing, which was drawn in isometric projection, to the 2D drawing, which in this video, we looked at the first angle projection. All right, so this is what the finished drawing would look like without the labels A, B, C, and D. Okay? Okay. On the screen, what we're doing is showing you the location of the section XX drawing, which we drew already, and the section YY drawing with respect to the first angle projections. So recall that earlier in the video, this is where the cut was taken on the isometric drawing, the three-dimensional drawing, okay? But now we're going to put it now on the 2D drawing as a section front elevation, okay? So you recall that the section XX drawing, which is this drawing up here, right, was a sectional front elevation. So that is why it is right here, right? Now the plan was a section, so it will maintain the same place here. And the end elevation looking from C was not sectioned for today's drawing, so it will remain in the same position. Recall that the view seen in the direction of the arrow labeled D was section for today's drawing, right? So section YY would be in this end elevation, the sectional end elevation, which we had labeled, right? But we don't normally call it section end elevation. We just call it section YY to based on the cutting plane. So you remember I told you that I would tell you where these two, the section XX came from. It's a cutting plane. So this line right here, labeled XX, is a cutting plane, right? It shows where the cut was taken on the plan, right? And when you cut the plan, remember we showed you previously, um, that the front elevation would be section, right? So that is why this view now, which was a section front elevation, is now called a section XX because this cutting plane here shows where we took the cut and we labeled this cutting plane XX, right? So we could have labeled it BB and then the front elevation would be called section BB, for example, okay? And Y, section YY is coming from the cutting plane, this line here, right? Cutting plane YY. Recall also earlier in the video that we sectioned the isometric drawing and we section specifically the end elevation looking in the arrow, the direction of the arrow labeled D, okay? So this is what we are representing as the end elevation section, and is the cutting plane that was used to cut the object theoretically at that location that we're going to be putting this section in the first angle projection drawing, okay? Right? It shows where the cut was taken, right? So we're looking in the arrow, the direction of the arrow is YY, right? So that is why the end elevation C is not section because we're not looking from this side C, right? We're looking from D. Good. So here is a completed section drawing using first angle projection, right? So I've removed the labels A, B, and C, A, B, C, and D, because those were just to help us to identify the locations of the different views taken from the three-dimensional object, okay? We have come to the end of part 2 of the two-part series of the topic sections. Thanks for watching. Good job if you got the interpretation of the sections correct. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. In the next video, we'll be looking at the construction of a Archimedean spiral. So we're looking forward to having you. Take care until we meet again. Bye. Thanks for watching the video. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and share.